Hey guys, we'll get started in just a few minutes. Dev should be here in a minute. AR, why don't you try talking to make sure they can hear you?
I don't mind switching to live. I'm not going to say anything interesting in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I can see the audio bar, so hopefully that's going through.
Somebody usually gives us a thumbs up.
Yeah. It's been a long week.
I don't remember what I did last week, so
Most of my week was finishing up work and then starting to try to relax. I put together numbers since I started stuff right before the month began, and it begins with a 2.
what?
Putting together how many hours I've worked in the last few weeks.
Oh, is it double digits, like more than 20 or more than 200?
More than 200.
Okay, that's better.
Yeah. Oh, if it were 20, that would have been a
If
day
it,
and a
if yeah,
half or
if
2
you're if you're
days.
if you're complaining about only working 20 hours, I'd be
No, 20 hours in a few weeks? Hell no, I wouldn't be
yeah,
complaining
that's
that.
be complaining about not having any money.
Then I would be complaining about not having any money. Instead, been working hard and spending the money. And I think Dev has popped in.
Yeah.
I hate animals.
Oh God,
What
your
did
dog.
what did your dog do this time?
It involves a dead rat.
That's gonna be replace Reddit corner on the show. It's gonna be Dev's Week in Pets.
Yeah.
The funny part is occasionally I actually get a question why we don't bring up the subreddit anymore, and because it's not fun unless it's both me and May, because then it's discussing the Reddit.
And
If
there's
it's
there's
if it
something to be said about not amplifying the worst opinions
yeah,
of the fandom.
I mean, lately they've popped up a lot. The worst opinions of the fandom.
Yeah, but let's keep them in their own self-contained unit and maybe not spread them out over a podcast.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're
Okay.
on YouTube somewhere else.
Yeah. Okay. You guys ready to go?
More than likely. Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to the WtW podcast. We're here to entertain and inform a bit while talking about Digimon. I'm Mark, running with the Will.
I'm AR Pulver, Digimon System Restore.
I'm DevQ and
Yeah, Dev and her pets is fun. It's been a long week for everyone. It feels like.
Nah,
Yeah.
it was a normal week for me. I don't know what you guys are complaining about. Actually, I do know what you guys are complaining about. I'm just saying I don't have any personal gripes against last week.
Bastard.
I'll do better this week, I'm sure.
Yeah. Don't worry.
I make
Because
no guarantees.
It'll catch up with me eventually.
and we're gonna be talking about episode 24, the final stage, done Devimon.
Dun dun dun.
I feel like my main thought is roughly the same as last week, but the episode itself felt better, but there's still the issue of, like, if this were the final, battle episode of an arc, I would have been supremely happy. And while I'm still happy with the episode, it's the case where how much more filling would this kind of battle episode have been if we had gotten content before this?
Probably a little more
Yeah,
satisfying.
yeah. I mean, I'm at the point where if the episode works without context, then it's a marginal success for me. This episode worked as well as it could without context,
Yeah.
and that meant I give it a thumbs up.
Yeah. I
Like
guess let's
context is always better, and
Yes.
this show is drastically lacking it as far as characters are concerned. But in a situation like this, you only need so much to get across the concepts.
Yeah. Let's talk about the B squad first, since there's so little to say there. They showed up, they're still fighting Agumon, and the one like really annoying thing in the episode is like, oh, the boats are back, and this time it's more than one boat. And it's like, I don't think this came up in any way, shape, or form prior to this, did it?
Yeah, the tanker crisis is not quite dead. It's only
It's
mostly
worse.
dead.
It's worse.
Yeah, it's
Because they were
But they
talking.
left the episode off kind of like, oh, we solved that crisis for the most part. Everything should be fine. And it's like, oh, by the way, it's like a total
500 more
shit show.
boats.
yeah, and not only that, but they only mentioned prior to this they had only mentioned
One,
the
I think.
situation. What was that?
I think that they had only brought up as if there was only an issue with one boat.
Yeah, it was only the issue in Singapore,
Yeah.
and now apparently it's global,
Everywhere.
and they didn't catch that
Yeah.
before.
And oddly, I got like 3 different notes from us discussing the last episode with the boat, where people were saying there was something with Hikari when they evolved, and I went back and I couldn't find anything. So if someone does know what the hell multiple people were talking about there, please let us know, because I honestly was looking for it. I couldn't find it.
I completely forgot Hikari exists.
Yeah, my guess is they saw all the close-ups of Koshiro's Digivice and the sort of purpley pink glow and thought it was meant to be her.
No, it's just purple glowy.
It's
Oh no,
Digimon,
Digimon
is causing all of these problems.
Well, we have
It's trying to get to Hikari, and Dagomon's making a mess of everything.
But yeah, I went back and checked just on the off chance we did miss anything, and if we did, I certainly couldn't figure out what it was. So B Squad is still fighting against Agumon, and
can I say that B Squad bit, that one, I'm not upset that they're still going with that, just because the arc isn't technically over yet, and that's a nice note that the arc is not technically over yet.
Sorry, go ahead.
But it's also a really bad thing, since the B Squad really didn't do anything
interesting.
Well,
you do get what the entire B Squad shtick right now is, right? Honestly, what they're doing.
I don't know what they're trying to be doing.
It's just, well, we've seen it before. It's just they couldn't do it quite as cleanly as the last time we saw them do it, which is getting the characters off the table so they don't have to deal with them. They have less characters to deal with. It is exactly what we saw with the WtW kids in Try, except because they're main characters, they can't just push them off screen. They have to, in some way, have them around in some form. So they've just found the most minimal way to do that for now.
This is why I will always defend not including the WtW kids in Try, because good God, this B-side thing is just not good.
I think the way I think the easiest way to defend is look at the people upset at how it was handled in Kazuna.
Yeah.
Where they're like, they're only on screen for a few minutes. It's like, there's 5,000 characters in a 90-minute movie. That's what was going to happen.
Yeah, well, let's not go down that road.
Yeah. So now we have the main part of the episode, which is effectively just one fight, which kind of happened last episode, but this time it felt much more interesting and fulfilling as a fight.
Oh, it's a much more interesting
destroying
fight.
Everyone.
Yeah, yes. done Devimon. The movement looked great. Basically, anytime he got hit in any form, he would just move differently, and it worked well. He looked menacing.
Yeah, the visuals of this fight were exactly what we didn't get last week.
Yes.
Like, the visuals last week were just boring as all hell. This was far more dynamic, far more interesting to watch. You actually got an emotion watching this fight as it progressed from being, oh, this is looking really bad, to, oh, this is just really ugly to watch.
Yeah. And we even got some degree of story stuff from Tokomon, which was not necessarily the source I was expecting to be the source of, like, plot elements, which is kind of weird. Which we got
exposition magical pig.
Yeah, we got two key exposition. One, as if we're meant, I think we are meant to take Tokomon at his word. is generic evolution was what Devimon wanted,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever is left of Devimon in there is not really there anymore. Basically, it is.
It's a zombie.
Yeah, it's basically. See, I took it more as forcing the evolution so much his mind didn't expand with his body, so you get the weirdness of
That's
he has the
yeah.
power he wants, but he has not evolved with it in any way where he can. I don't even know how to word what I'm trying to
That's
say.
You're just like a
that's the
mindless feral thing.
Basically,
yeah.
yes.
Feral. I used the word feral a lot in my review.
I did too. That's why I was trying to think of a different word because I just kept using feral But
I
yes,
mean, the
it's
word fits.
That's why I came up with zombie.
yeah. See, I don't like.
I know it's not entirely
I
accurate,
I don't
but
I don't like zombie because we do get a few flashes of things from him. Like
yeah,
just
there are a few flashes, which
yeah,
there's a couple that I really
yeah,
enjoyed.
which worked well, and we get the battle. We get him getting miasma arms, which everyone seemed to really like the miasma arms.
Dig the miasma arms.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like
Eh,
it's actually making an actual plot point of the miasma,
Yeah,
and
not
then
just there.
we have a good sort of character moment that's ruined by the fact that it kind of didn't need to happen, which is Taichi bravely pushing Yamato off as we're just staring there going, why did they go with them in the first place?
yeah, that was for all of the accolades this show gets for hey, look at Taichi and Yamato
It
riding their
it
Digimon in
doesn't
a
it
battle.
doesn't
This proves why that's a terrible idea.
Well, here's the thing. In most cases you can chalk it down to the kids doing exciting things because they're kids. Here, they're aware of what he is. There was no reason for them to be there. Mine is to have Taichi do the bravely. Someone has to take care of Takaru. Shove and Yamato. There was no
Also,
need for
if
it here.
Taichi recognized it was that dangerous, why didn't he grab Yamato and both of them
Jump.
bail?
Yeah.
Like and
At least
even though Don Devimon is like the epitome, like the culmination of danger, like they're riding into danger every
but
time. This could
true.
happen every time.
But what I mean is
I can kind of see their point sometimes because once in a while, being like right next to the big scary monster that's going to protect you is probably the best spot because like, hey, you're over there and Devimon has a ranged attack and you're done.
the thing
That and there's a nice arc. There's an argument for unity and being with your Digimon. Like in our war game, that was a cool moment when they did that. But
you
that should be
need a line
for,
there. You need
yeah,
something.
save it for special occasions.
Have him go that he won't abandon Metal Greymon or something as have him think to himself that he won't abandon him as he's pushing him off. Give us like 3 seconds. Just have him think that he won't leave Metal Greymon there. Blah 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 blah.
That would have also been really nice to help cement Metal Greymon's thinking when he stopped thinking.
And then Taichi gets eaten, which people reacted
Okay,
that one.
well, let's go to the Taichi kind of lost his mind before he got eaten too.
I thought more kind of like rage screaming is the way I took it.
It's rage screaming.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's to me at least, it's not interesting because nothing comes of it, and it's almost solely there so they could put it in the next episode preview.
You're not wrong. Yeah, I think I didn't mind Taichi.
Unnecessary. Like
it was kind of unnecessary, and it was also kind of. It works in the sense of I think people are thinking like, does this count as a dark evolution? And I think we can quickly say don't think about it in those terms because.
Well, here's the thing. I would say no. I would think more if I were to be more directly. They're not. It's the same way when we sometimes bring up what they think canon is. They think canon is whatever they're putting in the story at the moment. They aren't really. It's like if you were to look at Gundam, canon doesn't make any sense. It's whatever they're going to put in at the moment. Here, at the moment, that's what they wanted to do.
Well, sure. I mean, the concept of dark evolution itself, even in the examples that we all accept are, that one counts. It's different every time.
And in this case,
it's a very loose concept to begin with. I'm saying that even if we're defining it very loosely, this wouldn't count.
yeah, well, especially since we're told it's still Metal Greymon.
Yeah,
Where
that too.
it is
not actually an evolution.
Yeah, it is effectively Michael Caine with Kermit the Frog seeing Ghost of Christmas Future.
That's a reach. Wow.
How's that a reach?
I did not expect Muppet Christmas Carol to come in this discussion.
See, I don't think that's a reach. I think it's that Agumon is enraged. He has more energy than he normally would, and we're seeing a flash of what he could become if he does not get that under wraps. At least that's
jeez,
yeah.
that's that was a
you're
story.
Just like, someone made a care mistake.
That was the Christmas Carol is a story before the Muppets did it, right? Like that's like 19th century.
Yes, but it's
right
funnier.
There.
But it's funnier to say Michael Caine and Kermit the Frog. Kermit the Frog doesn't even go with him. I wanted to bring up Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, Gonzo's the narrator in that one.
Yeah, but no one actually goes with Michael Caine, is what I mean. It is just Michael Caine.
Oh,
and are you saying we shouldn't bring up the Muppets anytime we can? Aha! Got you there, motherfucker. But yeah, so we get that, and I will say they animated that. The way it was colored, the way it was done, it was very enjoyable to watch.
Yes, it was very enjoyable. It was very enjoyable to watch, and that's really what it comes down to with me grading this episode.
Yes,
like
it was enjoyable to watch.
I mean, I'm glad that my family wasn't home.
Yeah,
like we can criticize the context and the lack of depth going on here.
If it's half an hour and it's enjoyable to fun, then if it's a half hour and it's enjoyable to watch, then we're perfectly happy with it, even if it has flaws.
Last week was not fun to watch. This week was fun to watch. Yeah. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
So it was so much fun. And Togemon has the best evolution sequence.
Then Togemon.
That was a nice little bit of levity at the end there.
Look, a magical girl.
I should have saved my ghost joke for the Ghost Angemon. Showing up and talking to Metal Greymon, and then Agumon busts his way out of the ghost of Mugendramon. And then we get the same sort of ghosty energy War Greymon, which was used shockingly well for just the tiny bit we got him. Like, I would have...
Or a fighting here.
I would have honestly thought that they would have tripped the first time we saw War Greymon, to be honest.
Yeah, that was... like, you're sort of... Oh, God, are they actually going to do War Greymon here? And they did it... It wasn't actually War Greymon, and that was effective.
Yes, it was done in a fulfilling way. I will say, I kind of wonder if plans changed, because if you look at the opening, doesn't it feel like you could have had a Red War Greymon there just angry and lashing out? Because in the opening, we see him in fire, and he seems angry.
I think... I don't know. I mean, they went with the...
They went
with the Mugendramon imagery in the evolution sequence pretty early on.
Yeah, but here's the thing. We see the imagery for other... I don't expect Agumon to become the moon.
But I want him to.
He is the moon.
Moon.
Yeah.
He's not going to turn into the moon. This is not
I'm not saying that did happen. I'm just saying if we were to find out at one point they thought they were going to do that, I wouldn't be shocked. But I think it was more fulfilling having it not be War Greymon, and then Agumon does his energy thingy.
Yeah, I'm not sure they thought that far ahead, to be honest.
And then, instead of the last 30 seconds of the episode being, hurrah, we have won, they instead just immediately then start breaking stuff up. That's the moment where I kind of went, they couldn't have just for 30 seconds have stood around, even for 30 seconds there.
I'm kind of the opposite. Chill. I'm kind of the opposite way. It's like this didn't feel like a climactic victory. This felt like sort of like a victory, but at what cost kind of victory. And I don't want an arc to end like that.
Well, see,
so I'm okay with it not completely ending here.
I'm not sure I can take it that way, because Taichi doesn't actually know anything that happened there.
Oh, I'm sure he'll get filled in.
Oh, I'm sure he will, but I mean, it's not like he knows.
I hope Yamato and Takeru are like, so you kind of lost your mind there, and we're a little bit concerned now.
And then
And
Patamon's there now.
let's not do that again. By the way,
We're gonna take you to see some therapy, Mon.
yeah. By the way, this is Patamon.
Yeah.
Isn't he cute?
This is my son now.
It's interesting because they actually used Angemon effectively, even though he's dead.
Yeah,
Like-
they used
like-
they
like
used
you-
Angemon and War Greymon effectively in this episode. I'm stunned.
It's especially weird because they 100% could have just had him evolve to Patamon quickly, then to Angemon, then back to Patamon, and we all would have went, not that shocked they did it.
That
And
would have
instead,
been,
they actually did it in a fulfilling, interesting way.
yeah, they absolutely would have done it, and I'm so happy that they didn't.
Yeah. And then the next episode, they fall. We see Eldoradimon and Leomon's back.
For
Hooray!
now.
Yeah, it's a strange preview of the next episode, considering it doesn't feel like the arc's over. It feels like they're going to a new arc. I don't think they actually are, but it was a weird preview.
I mean, I know if they are or aren't. Do you want to know?
No.
Okay.
Eh?
But yeah, do we have anything else to say about the episode? I mean, overall, good episode. If prior episodes had been more fulfilling, I feel like this would have been a really good send off for the end of the arc. To be honest, I really think
Yeah,
it
the
would have.
last episode was just blah.
Yeah,
I'll take the wins when I get them at this point.
yeah. What grade did you give this AR in your review?
I gave it a B plus, and a big part of the B plus was dragged down by the fact that the B team was there at all. Like the B team was so boring in this episode.
Yeah, they've locked in that they have the characters and they're going to show them. Period. I don't believe there will be.
Even though they didn't do or say anything.
Yep. Well, they said something. I just don't remember what it was.
They said all the same things that Taichi and Yamato were saying in episode 3 of.
True. And hey, look, we have a new song coming up soon, and they've mysteriously announced it a few weeks beforehand. I wonder if there are more announcements to come. Wink, wink. Yeah. So
I don't know.
yeah. So the third end
It's
theme.
anyone's guess.
The third end theme is Mind Game by Micah, and it will start being used in episode 27, which is. See, it's not even fair. It's not even fair to say we guessed because we absolutely didn't. That's just when it was going to be. Song was put together specifically for Adventure, and I would not be shocked if. Do we want to say this weekend or the weekend after they will announce a new opening?
They might pace it out a little bit.
They could, especially if it does have a slightly odder number of episodes, but we'll see. I would if they
Yeah, they'll
we'll
I
see.
mean, yeah, it'll be a week or two.
Yeah.
One or the other.
Yeah. So not much to say here because we don't even have any sort of preview, but the digital single will be released on December 6th, which is much faster than we got the second song, because the second song we only got last week.
Yeah.
So they're prepped for this one. I think what happened was I think she had an album released like a week or two before. So they sort of pushed back doing the single because they had already done a bunch of promotion for an album that didn't have it. So yeah. And then the Christmas stuff keeps coming. They're doing a bunch of products featuring the various Christmas art, including the new one. And that's a lot of generic stuff, isn't it?
It's very generic.
Although very oddly, the mug has stuff that does not appear anywhere else. It's like a bad Christmas sweater with sprite work on it.
Yeah, I like the mug the best. The mug's my favorite.
The mug's the most interesting.
The mug is useful.
Yes. I kind of want the big acrylic stands just to see if we could get better scans of that art. But I'm also not willing to pay. It would end up being over $100 to get all four, so just no. But yeah, those, and they're not available that long, so you basically have until November 24th. So get to it. And then the big to-do was they've announced something. Project VB. It feels like we're meant to think it's a like a next generation virtual pet. Doesn't it feel like that's what we're supposed to think?
VB stands for Virtual Boy. There is a new Rio game coming out for the Virtual Boy on December 7th.
That's good because I have 2 of them.
Jesus.
I got one when it first came out, and then when they were being clearanced out, I got one super cheap and just stashed away.
I have played a Virtual Boy for exactly 5 minutes and I regret it.
Oh, I played it for hours. My eyes were immortal on that thing.
How could you stand that?
Because
Masochism?
I was almost always playing stuff like Wario Land, stuff where the game was really thought out, so even though it had the red, it didn't bother me because the 3D effect was done well enough that I was just able to ignore the red. Yeah, I keep seriously contemplating pulling out my second one and getting it video output modded.
Oh, you go for that. Meanwhile, Project VB is a new virtual pet announced on December 7th. Moving on.
We believe it's a new
Yeah.
virtual pet. Technically, they have not said so, even if theoretical leaks have suggested as such. Although some of those seem to clash with each other on what it actually is, so we will see.
What kind of clashes are we talking about?
There was some mention of it being a next-gen virtual pet akin to a modern Tamagotchi.
Okay.
Then others suggested it was more like. Then other mentions that it was more akin to a like fitness band thing.
That's the range,
Where
folks.
no, there's other stuff also. Those are just
to a new Fitbit.
those are just the ones that came to mind. But where anything from where some people were saying it's the same resolution but in color, others were saying that it's a higher resolution screen and it would have entirely new art. Period. So it's where it's also the thing where both could be correct and it's just different stuff at different times.
Either way, I have a feeling that if you're not into the virtual pet, into the V pet games, this is going to be disappointing.
I can 100% guess between the 3 of us how many of these will be bought. I'm gonna go ahead and say donut.
Yeah.
So hey, I'm looking forward to seeing what it is at the least because
it's going to whatever it is, it's going to supply us more news throughout the week, throughout the months as they slow roll the Digimon roster.
And won't we all be surprised when Agumon, Gabumon, and Omegamon all show up in some form in it? Truly, it will be a shocking moment, don't you think?
They'll get those out of the way really early, I'm sure.
Yeah. And then a new poll, which is choose your favorite Pendulum Z group.
Speaking of which,
yeah, I'm trying to decide like which I would pick from these, and I kind of
I thought about this long and hard in the 10 minutes before the show started, and I'm voting Wingardians.
I actually also going with Wingardians just because like normally I would go Nightmare Soldiers all the way, but there's just like
Pomimon.
New, really.
Come on, it's all about Pomimon.
Yeah, exactly.
I honestly don't know because the problem is the lineups are focused enough, but they also feel like they tried very hard to not go with the standard ones, and it feels kind of artificial because of that. Where it feels like a little bit too much effort to swing a bit different. And then you have Virus Busters, which is exactly what you would expect with anime characters.
Too late. I just voted Wingardians.
Well, I'm not. Yeah, I guess I would go with Metal Empire.
Well, that was probably my second best guess. Second vote, actually, if I had to give a second place there.
And then the card news just kind of went crazy in the last week. So we got.
I paid attention to none of it.
Yeah. So
me neither.
We got our first.
Even though this is U.S., some of it's U.S. relevant. So
we got our first artwork from Booster Set 4 from promo poster, which Agumon looks nice there. We got Ancient Greymon in the background. Our first 4 cards are Vritramon, Garmon, Meikumon, and Neo Devimon, which It's hard. It's more and more hard to comment on the art of the cards because they're all good. It's
Yeah.
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 Consistently badass.
Then
Mhm.
after the episode aired in Japan, they put up a preview of Dun Devimon from Booster Set 4, going for an entirely different look than he'd. Like, this is like a regal, coherent version of him. He doesn't have the venom mouth. He looks like crisp and sort of clean in his design. It's a very different look for him than what we saw on the show, don't you think? And the
I
art
think
just
they
looks so
really
nice.
wanted to get the Spawn look going.
Yeah, it skews more spawny.
Yeah.
The artists
Then
are having fun.
yeah, then we got the clean art for the 3 promo cards: Gran Agumon, Black War Greymon, and Metal Grumon Black, which those look nice. These feel less nice than most of them, I think, because they feel like they're zoomed in a bit too much to me.
Yeah, the zoomed in look doesn't look so great when they're all really dark.
Yeah. Then we already saw them low resolution, but we got the Tamer cards from the new starter decks, which, seeing the art high resolution, they all look really nice, but something about Koshiro's smile bothers the hell out of me, and I can't figure out why.
He's really playing up the shonen sidekick
Yeah.
look there.
Yeah. We got to see then the promo pack packaging. We got to see the new sleeves, which, hey, look, it's Omegamon. It's shocking, isn't it?
Oh my.
And, and
Can't
then
believe it.
and then we got our first information for Booster Set 5 from a pre-order sheet for stores, and we quickly got more information, and it's Battle of Omega.
Gee, I wonder what Digimon will be in that set.
I should actually, a lot of Japanese social media stuff was actually not focused on Omegamon for this. I saw a number of people commenting that they seem to be taking it more as like a battle of final popular characters rather than literally just Omegamon, Omegamon, Omegamon. But
I mean,
that's
that
kind
still
Every
could
that,
be
card
the
will be
battle of
Omegamon.
popular
I know,
that still could be the battle of popular characters.
but that's also been kind of every set where a bunch of popular, high levels at the end then. But yeah, so that will be February 26th, 2021. People have begun to get their promo cards if they won them. The first ones have shown up today, so we'll see what else pops up because they were giving away thousands of them. Let's see. AR, I know you entered to win. Dev, did you?
I think I did. I don't remember. I remember
It was
yeah,
a
I don't
while
remember if I did.
ago.
Yeah.
Like,
So
I'm pretty sure I entered.
yeah, it's one of those things where like I remember hitting it, and then the next day I was like, did I enter it? Didn't I? It's like I don't want to hit it again because that might actually disqualify me. So we'll see. We also got a number of new card shows, which I don't watch them, but they are fun to look at a little bit. Although the road to Digital Master really is like basics for people who want to learn. And then the English tutorial app rolled out, and people were excited by it, and also oddly surprised that it was not just like a full digital card game. It's like you guys knew what this was going to be. It's the Japanese app in English.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the training just
yeah.
to teach you how to play.
Before they
It's not
can
a functional game.
before they can sell
And
you
we
tubers.
said at the time that it was like it's very close to being a functional
Yes,
game,
the
and
free play mode
yeah,
has you with a half deck and all the proper rules set up. So they could if they want to. I think that they've done the camera thing kind of says they don't plan to at the moment. Because
at the moment, yeah.
yeah. So we'll
Let's
see what may come up in the
get
future.
people used to the physical
Yeah,
cards and get them
exactly.
playing that way before you do the online stuff.
Yeah. Then a slight mess of adventure products. First up, the shirts, which I don't know if I like these shirts or not, to be honest. Like the Omegamon one's interesting, the Agumon one's interesting and a bit lazy, and the Crest one's just lazy.
Yeah, the Crest ones are lazy. The Agumon's kind of lazy. The Omegamon design is I'm okay with that. That's
I'm okay with
a
it, but
different
it's
look.
kind of, I don't know. It feels like something more interesting could have been done. And you get an
I think
Agumon
if you're
card.
I think if you're gonna do something like that with the words in the background, you could have done something a little more broader and used a lot more variety in the words to include in there instead of
Yeah,
just having Omegamon and his 4 attacks.
I'm pretty sure there was more than that. You can clear.
I
Oh wow, you're right. I thought it actually did say. I thought there was some Greymons and some other stuff mixed in, but you're right. It actually is just Gray Sword over and
it's just
over.
Gray Sword and Guru Cannon and
Okay.
all delete.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Omegamon.
And you can see the honey being used to tempt the ants. The Angemon card with it. It's not quite hyperbole to say it's one of the nicest looking cards we've seen in a series of just amazing looking cards. And they've teased that this card will show up with more products, so I don't know. I like it. I wouldn't be willing to spend $30 on a shirt for it though.
No.
Yeah.
No.
The more interesting product is like fabric squares for people to use for crafts and making stuff. I mean, it's not my thing, but Dev, I know you do crafts all the time. Is this the kind of thing that if you were able to find, you would use, or not this type of
Probably use it
pattern
for
stuff?
something like maybe like a bag or like masks or something like that, just because it's Digimon. But
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it looks exactly like the Pokemon sheets from the 90s.
I think they're still making those. I think you can still get those Pokemon sheets at Walmart.
This looks like every cartoon sheet from the 90s, to be fair. I'm
It
I'm pretty
does,
sure I
Pretty
had
much, just like
I'm
a blue or a gray with like some crappy clip art just spun around in random directions and a logo.
Look, I'm 100% I had this exact stuff with Spider-Man and Batman. And at least the Batman ones were weird for what they were. They were themed after the Batman and Robin movie, but all in the style of Bruce Timm artwork.
But at the same time, it's something you can use to,
Yeah.
like, there isn't exactly a ton of Digimon fabric out there
Yeah.
to use. So it's something for crafters to have some fun with, and you can make nice stuff out of even the
Yeah.
most generic of product.
That's the best segue we've ever had into more generic stuff. All the graph art stuff's been nice because it's generally had unique art. This is more clip arty, I would say.
It's very generic, yeah.
And of course, we've seen these before. This is just for the general release. I will say I do like the little silhouette cases though. If it were something useful and not just sticky notes in it, I would almost consider getting one for what's basically $4.
Not bad.
Yeah, and if if Ikakumon and Angemon weren't oddly not the right colors, which bothers me. Yeah, and Pendulum Z. We kind of talked about the Pendulum Z. So first up, Mon Memo showed us a bunch of illustrations of early versions of character designs. Which
I really love when we get concept art like this.
yeah,
Yeah. Concept art's fun.
Rebellimon when he had legs. And of course they've mentioned.
I like it. You can see why they changed it.
Yeah, and of course they've mentioned it before that they were going to call him Metal Ogremon.
Ew.
Yeah, that was his original name.
Yeah, that's
Originally, Mimicmon was going to be called Rebelliomon, and when they changed his name to Mimicmon, they decided to move Rebelliomon over to Metal Ogremon.
Yeah, see, Mimicmon, like, what else are you gonna call that? Like, it's... I like the... at the same time, I do kind of get, if they were gonna call it Rebellimon originally, because the Mimicmon, the bio didn't really lean into the whole mimic concept, as I remember.
Yeah.
So that kind of explains what's going on there.
Yeah. And then we had a Pendulum Z report last night where they go into the ancient Digimon War, and we get some silhouettes of Digimon that, because a few shipped early, we already know are showing up in them, which we would have known anyways from the silhouettes. But
yeah,
interesting choice. The top left silhouette, which is Suzanomon, we all knew was going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they
Yeah.
telegraphed him 100 times over. Some of the others, I'm not sure anyone really guessed though. minus
I figured
generically.
Armagemon would probably make it in,
I
or
think.
some Diablemon.
Well, here's the thing. In the case of something like Armageddon, I feel like people guess him for everything. So
They like to use them for everything.
Yeah. But yeah, so and Dun Devimon was added to the lineup of Nightmare Soldiers.
Yeah.
Which not a huge shock there.
Yeah, pretty.
Yeah, there's mysteriously a question mark under Ultimate, and look, it's Devimon and Neo Devimon underneath. Whoever could the slot be? Yeah, that was one where like they should have question marked the other two Devimons, and then it would have actually been worth it to guess.
But then people might have thought that, oh hey, we're gonna get a new Digimon, and it's like, oh no, it's 2. We already.
That's
had.
what. Yeah, that's the downside if you did that. Is
Yeah,
when
I
the
guess
question
so.
mark ones are going to be, oh, those are going to be at least interesting ones, and to have two of them, to have one of them be Devimon would be kind of
here's
a
the thing.
disappointment.
But if you reveal them
Neo Devimon is a surprise.
Here's the thing, though. If you reveal all 3 at the same time, though, then you've made it interesting because it's a whole lineup with a brand new one at the end and one we don't see as much in the middle.
If you're going to be, you better be confident that people are going to take to Dun Devimon, though.
I feel like people really have taken to him, though.
They have, but you have to be sure.
There's going to be so much inappropriate artwork.
That's every character. That literally every character that exists in anything ever.
There is a scale, though.
Yeah,
There's a scale between which ones get the most inappropriate artwork and which ones don't.
Yeah, so we got high resolution artwork of Hawkmon, Locomon, and Shoutmon X3, which they did via a Sprite Guess Who This Is poll. Hawkmon people were 100% Hawkmon. X3, despite actually looking like X3 or 4 or 5, people really thought it was Rise Greymon, they said. Like, the majority of votes were that was Rise Greymon. And
I can't tell what these sprites are, even if I have the whole thing.
Well, no, I mean, like, you can see a V in the middle, which is, like, his thing, at least. Rise Greymon is just Metal Greymon slightly tweaked.
Yeah, yeah, those sprites always get me if it's anything Greymon-ish.
Yeah, and then we got the Bandai art of Dun Devimon, which looks great. I mean, very Venom Spawnish, especially in this.
Not entirely inappropriate.
Yeah, and then
this one's fair.
Yeah, and then the Kenji
So,
Watanabe.
Back to the subject, can I ask? So, what do you think for Dun Devimon on a scale of how much inappropriate artwork do you think fans will create of Dun Devimon on a scale of 1 to Renamon?
I don't care.
I
mean, I just
3.
don't care.
Okay, 3. Okay.
And then we have the Kenji Watanabe artwork, which is 100% Venom.
Yeah, totally.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then we get the Energy War Greymon and a little bit of Mugentramon. And he even points out that, yeah, it was based on Spawn and Venom motif-wise. Now, when they
at least they acknowledge, like they're pretty upfront about that acknowledgement.
Yeah, and he talked about wanting to reduce the number of lines, so he went in a fairly simple direction. I took that more as the evolution line, while most people took his art. It doesn't feel like the art is simple or has minimal lines.
I think more what they're meaning is like not as busy, so that it makes them more fluid to animate.
I mean, I'm looking at the art that he drew for the profile, and that does not come across as lack of lines or simple in any fashion, to me at least. That actually comes across as one of the...
the torso, he's not as jacked as Devimon.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the basic concept, that's as simple as it's going to get. It's not like all X antibody all over the place.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah. I really like the word Greymon in that image. It's done kind of so differently than how we often see him. I just kind of really like that. Where you get the glowing eyes, the flame effect
out of the Mugentramon.
Yeah. So, and I really like how he's done the little we get the like speed burning lines on War Greymon. We get various perspective blurs. It just works really well. And then questions. So while we go over the ones that were sent ahead of time, you guys in the chat can start throwing them up. Someone wants to know, did any Digimon products catch your eye lately?
Like I
mean,
said,
there's the Diablomon and
Yeah,
Omegumon
that
statue.
was actually the next question that was sent in. Was someone wants to know if me or Dev ended up ordering that figure? It didn't show up in the places where I would normally order them yet to try to save a bit of money in getting them. So not yet.
Eventually, I'm gonna wait for it to come up on Crunchyroll and
Yeah, that's what
see
I
how it
tend
is
to
there.
do. Because
Well, that and CR lets
shipping's
you
free,
do
the price is good.
payment plans.
Yeah, I don't need, I won't be doing the payment plan. They just generally have really good prices for this stuff, which yeah, once you
It
start
hurts a little less for me.
once you start throwing in intermediaries and shit, this stuff gets very much more expensive than it already is. Yeah.
Well, that and that and Crunchyroll ships by FedEx, so I can usually have it like redirected to like the post office or the place so I can pick it up because my neighbors are notorious thieves.
Ah.
ooh,
And Ramon wants to know, do we think Devimon will show up in a Digimon video game or VPET? He already has.
yeah,
Yeah.
they did not waste any time with that.
Yeah, they already announced him for VPET as we mentioned earlier, and at some point, yeah, I'm sure he would show up in a game at some point.
Oh yeah,
I
totally.
figure probably like Rear Eyes would be an easy one to slap him into.
Yeah, see the problem
Yeah,
is
for
with
sure.
the mobile games that just pump characters, it's almost hard to not have anyone known show up. The next one was sent in. Someone said, "You guys talked about Bond. What about favorite Lupin?"
I've never actually watched Lupin.
I used to watch it on like Adult Swim back in the day, but I don't remember that much.
I should preface any answer with the fact that I work on most of the Lupin stuff. Yeah, so I should preface any comment that I give to that. Um, I I felt like they meant actor and not movie because that's the Bond concentration we had, and I don't know. I've always been really partial to Tony and Sonny, both of them playing Lupin. Because Tony Oliver's Lupin is just glorious. The most boring Lupin that he's dubbed has been enjoyable just because he does the laugh and it's just great.
This is where I wish I'd gotten into anime earlier because I met Tony Oliver at a convention once, and I'm like, I know you're famous, and like I just wish I'd seen more of your stuff.
Yeah. But yeah. So I'd say him and Sunny are my favorites. And yeah, there's less variety in the Japanese because there's only been 2 full actors minus a handful in other places, and I think Korea's been doing him since '95 at this point. So yeah, I mean, basically everyone who's played Lupin at some point is pretty good.
My favorite Lupin is the Persona 5 one.
Okay. Ian wants to know, since Angemon bailed out Machine Jamon, would you like to see Angemon return the favor of Yamato and where Garurumon have a bad time? Oh, that sounds fucking terrible.
No, absolutely
Yeah,
not.
yeah,
That's bad.
yeah,
That's bad.
that sounds. Yeah,
It
it
does
didn't.
it does pose an interesting problem in how you're going to have, Takeru or Tokomon specifically is doing so much bailing out that it's going to be difficult to see how they do it with Tailmon
Well, here's the
kind
thing.
of
They may
kind of
not need
jumping
to
in
because
here.
this may be a one-use thing, so they could have War Greymon show up before they have War Greymon show up. They may not do
Yeah.
this with Gabumon.
Well, no, I'm not saying that Gabumon's going to be in any particular situation. I'm just saying that the idea of the miracle savior has become so much oriented to Tokomon that having like how are you going to get like what's Angelomon going to do now?
Show up and
Catfight.
Did just show up and be normal? Like they can't just have a smooth integration
oh
with getting Hikari onto the team. So it'll be interesting to see how they get her into the fold.
yeah. Let's see. Someone wants to know: do you think you'll have an episode with guests again? Yes, it's just a matter of when and for what. I have an idea at some point, need to go over it with AR and Dev and see if it would work, but there are ideas.
Yeah, it's also some kind of difficult to do with this weekly format when we spend so much time discussing the last
Yeah,
episode, and the last episode is, it's not really a special occasion, the previous episode, so
yeah.
it's just sort of a
I
long line, it's just sort of a long procession of 66, so trying to
yeah,
make it a special episode with a guest spot
yeah,
doesn't always seem
yeah,
appropriate.
yeah. And then Scale wants to know, do you think we'll see Mugenjamon complete once they meet Metal Mamemon and then blah 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 blah? He's missing the part from Metal Mamemon, but I don't think that had anything to do with it. I think
That's not
I literally believe they just didn't want the cannons there because they wanted the visual to be cleaner. Those things they block a lot if you're trying to lay out a shot,
yeah.
which is why they weren't used in Cross Wars. They they block a lot of space, especially when you're trying to do something interesting and dynamic. It has nothing to do. I I can always be
Really
wrong.
top heavy
Yeah,
silhouette.
yeah.
Yeah,
right.
I can always be wrong. I do not believe anything they did with Mugen involves in any fashion that Agumon has met characters that happen to go with him.
they didn't even fight Megadramon. That was Leomon that took that. So yeah,
Well,
that has
I
nothing.
believe he's saying that he happened to be in the area and saw him.
Well,
But that's what I
yeah,
mean. That's
no. There has to
it's a
be more.
stretch.
If they're actually going to do something with that, there has to be a little more foreshadowing
Yeah,
involved.
yeah. But yeah, I don't think that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I think we're getting Metal Mamemon for the sake of getting Metal Mamemon because he's cool.
Japan likes Mamemon.
They do.
Yeah. And someone wants to know any fall games, movies, or TVs you're looking forward to, or I said doing now. I assume they meant watching or playing now.
Nope.
I'm waiting for Age of Calamity.
So here's the thing. I have Age of Calamity pre-ordered. I don't know why though, because every time I play a Warriors game, I'm like, "Yep, this is exactly a Warriors game," and then I will play it for 5-10 hours, and then I will never touch it again.
I kind of sunk about 200 hours into Fire Emblem Warriors just because it's just so cathartic to just smash through hundreds of enemies at one time. It just makes me feel nice.
I own Turtles in Time, so I can also do that.
Yeah, I don't really anticipate things because I'm such a late adopter
I'm
in games.
you
Like
know what?
I spent the whole weekend playing Civilization 6 for the first time, and I just got it recently because I'd been spending the last 8 years playing Civilization 4.
I
So, that's where I'm at with
yeah,
my
I've
video
been
play.
I've been sort of playing the Miles Morales game. Sort of.
I've just been playing Among Us with my friends on occasion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Here's why sort of. The one I got came with the remastered version of the old Spider-Man game, which I didn't finish because I became busy. And the save game importer is not ready yet. So I'm in the position where I kind of don't want to play the new one until I finish the old one. So I'm sort of just swinging around the city and screwing around. It's fun though. But yeah. Um, I'm kind of oddly looking forward to the sequel to Coming to America. Not a
Oh
movie
shit!
that
I didn't know they were making a one.
Yeah, I think I heard about that. There's just a lot of random 80s and 90s sequels
Oh
coming
no!
out.
See, here's
nowadays.
what I need to tell you first. The title of the movie is Coming to America. 2, as in they
Okay.
write the 2
Like the
with the number
number.
2. Yes, Coming to America.
That's terrible and fantastic
Yes.
at the same time.
That's how 80s sequels should be.
Yes, but yeah, so they basically have everyone back. Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall, James Earl Jones.
I say 80s sequels. It's made like Too Fast, Too Furious kind of.
Yeah. But yeah, yeah, it was gonna be Paramount's Christmas movie this year, and they ended up selling the rights to Amazon, so it's just gonna stream. So yeah,
no one goes to movie theaters anymore.
I'm kind of oddly looking forward to it, even though I wonder if it'll be terrible. And I keep joking with people that they're doing the Coming to America cinematic universe, and this is the 3rd film.
Oh my.
And everyone keeps going, but there's only been one. And that's not true.
I think we've had
Trading
this discussion
places.
on the podcast before.
Oddly, I think we have.
I think you've discussed the Coming to America Trading Places canon before.
Okay, that's weird because for some reason
It's
I
not
think you're
weird
right.
because no, it's not weird because half an hour ago you randomly evoked Muppet Christmas Carol. So these things
Hey,
happen.
it's the Christmas season. Ho ho ho.
I work in retail. I want to joke you for
Oh
that.
crap! I forgot the obvious one. Soul's coming out on Christmas, the Pixar film. Looking forward to that because although Onward was shit, I turned that off after like 10 minutes.
I forgot it existed and never bothered to watch it.
I forgot it existed, and we've played it on my TV for my kid, and I didn't even pay attention to it.
Here's the thing. I sat through The Good Dinosaur and was reasonably happy.
Wow.
I was like, this is maybe like a C grade. This would be like a C grade film from someone else. For Pixar, it's not great. But even then, I was like, it's not a bad movie. Onward, I turned off within 10 minutes. I'm like, this is unwatchable.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I need to watch it now.
It was just boring and not. It came across as one of the old stereotypical DreamWorks films, where it's like, oh, it's a mystical world of magic and ogres, and there's a character who's sort of like Jack Black and his younger brother, blah blah blah. And look, there's a van with stuff painted on.
I get what you're saying.
And
like,
I just turned off.
Pixar is capable of this. They made Cars 2.
Here's the thing. Cars 2 is one of the best James Bond films ever made.
Now we're getting into a rabbit hole.
A friend of mine actually wrote like an entire thing about that to a cartoonish degree.
That is not going to get me to watch Cars 2, incidentally.
I still need to watch Cars 3, but Cars 2 actually...
Cars 3 is fine. Cars 3 is totally fine.
Cars 2 I actually liked. Scale wants to know, thoughts on Devimon fate? I mean, we've seen he's still around.
Isn't he in the next... He's in the next preview, isn't he?
Yeah, he's there. We clearly see he's around and he's falling.
Alive.
He's falling, but he's doing fine. I mean hopefully it's just,
I don't think there's a reason to kill him now, if that's what you're asking.
He'll probably fall in the water and then be like the Turtle Island trope going on.
Yeah. Hopefully it's falling with style and not just like falling on his back and then we just see him trying to get up. Yeah.
I would like to see that though.
That would be fantastic.
Like you could spend 5 minutes of just one shot of him struggling to get up.
No, you know what you do?
It would be more entertaining than last week's episode.
No, you know what you do? You have them fall and they get attacked by the Momimon, and in the background you just see him like wobbling back and forth trying to flip over.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Yes, just give me the silly shit.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And then someone wants to know, is there still a chance for more Digimon Blu-ray box releases? Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Because here's
the thing. I haven't ruled out a Saber set yet.
Oh,
like you said, next year would be a good right time for that.
Yeah, I absolutely have not ruled out. Well, here's the thing. The slot where you would have expected that anniversary Savers one to show up actually is where the new Adventure one's coming out. I would expect... Here's the thing. There's only 3 left to do. I think at the moment it sort of fell into the same hole as why we didn't get an O2 audio drama when Tri was running and that box came out. There's other stuff. Throwing a Savers box out right before a new anime season when Adventure's still running, that doesn't really benefit the Savers box in any way, and there's because they can't focus on it.
Yeah.
So it's I expect we'll see. I expect we'll see Savers, Crosswords, and Atmon at some point, just because it makes them money. So as long as as much as people like to say Frontier didn't do well, it did fine, especially for a box for something that already came out.
And I don't know if there's any, particular excitement for a Savers box set beyond, dedicated Savers fans, but I think that there would be more interest in a Cross Wars box
Well,
set, and I do think they need to get to that one
So
eventually.
Cross Wars is also unique. Cross Wars is unique in a few ways. One, it's the first time we actually have HD animation that would
yeah,
benefit
you can
from
actually
it.
get HD in that.
And two,
Yeah.
it did not get a purchasable DVD.
Yeah, it doesn't just only have rentals.
The rental association had paid for it as an exclusive. So like, there's new art for each cover and everything, as if it were a standalone release, but it was rental only.
That's weird to think about Cross Wars not getting a purchasable DVD in Japan, because I have Fusion on DVD.
But yeah, like through all of Cross Wars and Hunters, like new covers and everything, sort of basically. Do you remember for the Agumon ones how the boxes had like the shots of new art of everyone, and then the rental discs were one or two characters?
Yeah.
That's what the rental discs were for Cross Wars, where you'd see the character and the partner,
Sure.
and it looked like the art was meant to be from somewhere larger.
Mm-hmm.
So I would hope that art. I mean, that you don't even need to do new art because no one's bought it, and they have art. So yeah, Cross Wars. I feel like people would really want Cross Wars, if only because they don't have it. You can own everything else in some way.
Yeah.
I want the thing.
Yeah.
Also, you could package it together with, you can include the whole thing. Get 79 episodes instead of
I
54
would assume they would, because Toei has never really been that interested in treating Hunters like its own thing.
No, they haven't.
They've been very specific. I mean, I believe even those DVDs just say Cross Wars, even when it gets to Hunters.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. But yeah, there's some interesting stuff you can do there, and I would like to see it. It's the first show where it actually like matters if you have it on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's about it for questions. So I guess first up, AR, anything interesting that you've been writing about lately?
No, I'll probably hopefully tackle some Kazuna questions on the Tumblr.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that.
I've had a couple interesting ones.
Yeah, I was gonna say that it looked like people have actually been sending you the questions directly lately that they normally would send you here. Probably because you can answer them quicker.
Yeah, people do that constantly. I do get. I got another one today that I really don't want to answer, but I think I have to. So look for that this week.
Do you want to just answer it here?
No.
Okay. And where can they find you, AR?
They can find me at First Agent ARP on Twitter. Digimon.firstagent.net is my review blog. Episode 24 is now online. And my Tumblr is First Agent, all spelled out.
Okay. And Dev, what Wikimon article would you like people to read? With an asterisk, you're not allowed to just say one of the Digimon we were talking about in this episode this week.
Oh, there are two articles I want people to look at. You're going to have to look at Chumon and Labramon. And just imagine Labramon just kind of like carrying around a dead Chumon all over the house and leaving it in various places.
I think we know what your pet did. Bad dog.
Yeah. I can be found with the Will, as always, writing stuff and relaxing and wanting to play video games and just relax soon. It has been a very long month, and we will see. We will catch you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
God bless us, everyone.
I'm going to kill you.